Hi everyone, so today we're going to be talking about dot plots, histograms, and box and whisker plots. Ooh, I spelled that wrong. Box and whisker plots. Now, you learned about these probably when you were in middle school, but I just want to talk about representing data graphically. So on the SAT, they often ask you to look at data in different ways and interpret things about the graphs. And so these are three of the graphs that I have seen presented on the SAT. So I wanted to go over each of them since it's probably been a long time since you've seen them. Okay, so first, let's look at a dot plot. So a dot plot includes all values of data given. So here I give you the test scores of students in a math class, and I listed them just randomly, okay? So a dot plot is actually going to put a dot for each piece of data. So every piece of data up here is displayed vertically or horizontally, however you look at it, on this dot plot, with each dot representing one of the scores. So it's actually a nice way to look at a large set of data. The interesting thing, though, is that the median, and each time we look at these, you want to consider where the median, maybe even the mean, or even what the range would be, okay? Or even the mode. So you might be familiar with all those words. Let's talk about them real quick. Median's the middle number. So if you put them all in order, it'd be the middle number. The mean is the average of the numbers, so you'd add them all up and divide by the number of terms you have. The range is the difference between the highest and the lowest. And the mode is the most frequent. We're going to talk about specifically the median in these sets of data. The median is the middle number. So if I'm looking at this data, it's not so easily understood where the median would be. So one of the things I like to do is just figure out how many pieces of data I have. On the test, they normally tell you, but here I'm going to just add them up real quick. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So I have 22 scores that people got on tests. So that means that my median is going to be between the 11th and 12th score, right? Because that would be the middle number if I lined them all up. So all I'm going to do is just count off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So we know that the median score would be an 88. So you can see it's not really something I can see just by looking at the data. I'd have to calculate it. So that's a dot plot. The next one is a histogram. So this is a histogram of those same sets of scores. Not so easy to interpret, right? It gives me just ranges of values. So histograms are subdivided into intervals. We call them bins, and we use rectangles, and they actually show the frequency of a range of values. And I could make it any range I want. Like I can use really any size intervals I want. For this one, I grouped it in groups of 10. But I really can't tell exactly what the scores are, can I? But I can see the frequency. I know that there were 2 people that got between 70 and 79. I know there were, let's see, about maybe 10 or 11. I can't quite tell. 10 or 11 that scored between 80 and 89. And it looks like maybe 9 that scored between 90 and 99. So I can't readily see the actual scores. I also can't readily see the median, but I know that we said it was between the 11th and 12th number, so I know that the median falls in this bin. Okay, so it tells me some. Now I could have changed the bins and made them smaller intervals, and that might give me more information. Okay, and then the last way we could display this is on a box and whisker plot, sometimes just called a box plot. Sometimes they call it a box and whisker plot. Those whiskers are those little lines right there coming out from it. And this divides the data into quarters, okay? So let's talk about that. This number is the minimum value. So if that's the minimum, then this one is the maximum value, okay? This number right in the middle, this line, represents the median. So if I take all the data, I line them up, I get the median, that's where I am. And then the other two dots, so the tops of the box, it is the median of the lower set of data, the lower half. And the top one is the median of the upper set of data. We call this the first quartile, and we call this the third quartile. So again, that middle line with the dot is the median. This is the median of the lower half, and this is the median of the upper half. So sometimes they ask you just what a number represents. And so you would have to know what those dots and boxes all represented on the graph. All right, so let's look at a little bit more. So here I did one where it talked about text messages sent per day and the number of responses. I looked at it on a histogram. So now I can clearly see there were 8 that were between 0 and 20. There was 1, there was 3, there was 0, and then there were 3. All right, so it looks like I've got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, I have 15 total values displayed, okay? So one way I could present this would be in a histogram. I could then look at trying to put it into a box and whisker plot. So how would I do that? I want to identify the medians that I'm going to need. So if I take all the data and I line it up like I have here, well, the median is the middle number, which in this case works out to be 20. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Just wanted to make sure it was 15. So that means that it's going to be between the 7th and 8th number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I know that 20 is my middle number. Okay? And so that would be my median. Okay? Then I have to get my lower and upper quartile. So that would be the median of this set. Okay? Which in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is going to be the 4th one. So 10 would be the lower quartile. 50 would be the upper quartile. So those are the medians of the lower set and the upper set. Okay, so how do we display that? So we display that right here was that 20 was the median. The lower quartile, the 10 would go right here. The 50, the upper quartile would go right here. Those would help me create my boxes. And then I take the outer number, which is the greatest, and the lower is going to be the least value. And remember, this is 25% of the data, go to here, 50% of the data, 75% of the data, and obviously 100% of the data. So we're breaking it up into quarters. All right, guys, so that's a little bit about just looking at box plots, histograms, and dot plots. Hopefully that was helpful and got your brain thinking about it again. And I will see you soon. Have a great day.